Okay, so the greatest test to the policy of appeasement comes in September of 1938. As you can see, this map has brought Austria into the map of Germany. And so if we were just for a moment, if I just redraw that boundary in, the boundary of Austria is a little bit like that. So that map shows Germany and Austria coming together. Now, naturally, the next two places Hitler may look, if he's expanding, is Poland, in this area called the Polish Corridor, which splits German land, or Czechoslovakia. Now, after Anschluss, it's looking like Czechoslovakia is the next step in Hitler's quest for Lebensraum. And that is the area where Hitler is going to draw his attention. The leader of Czechoslovakia was a man by the name of Edward Bernays, and he was horrified by Anschluss. He saw what was coming. He thought that Czechoslovakia was next, and so he turns to Britain, and he turns to France, and he asks for their help. Other countries that might be interested into what's going on, the other big powers of Europe, of course, are the USSR, this great block of purple countries in the east. You're going to hear me refer to the USSR and the Soviet Union. That is the same thing, okay? So it's the same. It's a different terminology. It's a little bit like saying the USA in America. So the USSR and the Soviet Union is the same thing. But that collection of purple countries on the map, they're interested to know what's going on because, of course, Germany is expanding into the east, and the other major power in Europe at this moment is Italy. Now, to complicate matters, Bernays is asking Britain and France for help, but Chamberlain and Hitler have an ongoing communication between one another. Chamberlain is not daft. Chamberlain knows who he's dealing with. A lot of people make Chamberlain out to be this foolish leader who underestimated Hitler. My opinion is that Chamberlain knew exactly who he was dealing with, but thought he could try and outsmart him. Hitler had given Chamberlain his word of honour that the people of the Czechoslovakia had nothing to fear, and he had no desires to take over that part of the world. However, there is an area of Czechoslovakia, and it's right on the border with Germany, and it's known as the Sudetenland. And the problem with the Sudetenland is that the people there spoke German. And Hitler had told the German people when coming to power that everyone who spoke German was German and therefore belonged in a greater Germany. So, in this very small area along the border of Czechoslovakia is the Sudetenland. And these people in this area, this border region, speak German and want to be part of Germany again. And so, whilst Hitler is telling Chamberlain that he has no intention of taking over, Hitler goes back to the old tactic that he tried in Austria. What he says to the leader of the Nazis there, a man by the name of Heinlein, he says to him that it is his job to stir up trouble, to convince the people of the Sudetenland to join in protests and to campaign for joining Germany. The Sudetenland is really important to Bernays and to Czechoslovakia because there are forts there along the border. So there's military forts there to stop German expansion and to defend the country from invasion. There's railroads, and a lot of the Czechoslovakian industry is there as well. And what that means is if it came to war, the provisions for war, the rifles, the bullets, that would most likely be made in that part of the country, and the railroad links to the other parts of the country are very important as well. So the Sudetenland is so important to Bernays in terms of defending his own country. From May 1938 Hitler makes it clear that he would fight for the people of the Sudetenland if necessary. Remember, we're only talking about this quite small area. The issue for that is that Britain and France and the USSR had all promised to support Czechoslovakia in the face of German aggression. And so tensions rose in Europe. In Britain, people begin to dig air raid shelters. They expect that war is coming and coming quick. Back in Britain, Neville Chamberlain says the following on national radio. How horrible, how fantastic, incredible it is that we should be digging trenches and trying on gas masks here because of a quarrel in a faraway country of whom we know nothing. So what Chamberlain is telling the British people is that it's ridiculous that the people of Britain should be preparing for war because of something that's going on across Europe. And Beneš is beginning to feel abandoned by the British. They have committed to supporting Czechoslovakia, but when push comes to shove, Chamberlain seems to be backing off. Hitler, actually in Berlin, says in the month of September 1938, "It is the last territorial claim which I have to make in Europe." Yet again, Hitler is telling other leaders, this is the last. This is the last thing I want. Once I have this, I am satisfied. Nothing more will happen. A quick timeline for you now, and this is all happening in the month of September. So what I'll do is I'll jot them down on here. On the 15th of September 1938, war seems imminent. So in a last-ditch effort for peace, Chamberlain meets up with Hitler. Hitler tells Chamberlain he only wants the areas of the Sudetenland where the people, or a majority of the people, spoke German, and he would use a plebiscite, another word for a referendum, to check that this is what the people wanted. Now, so far, Hitler has been using referendums because he used it in the Saarland and he used it with Anschluss. On the 19th of September, Britain and France begin to persuade Edward Beneš to accept Hitler's terms. And they spend a considerable amount of time trying to persuade the leader of a country to simply accept that areas of his nation are being taken away from him, with the sort of acknowledgement of the bigger powers in Europe. On the 22nd of September, Britain, France and Hitler meet again, and Hitler has changed his demands. He no longer wants the German area of the Sudetenland, he wants it all. And he tells the leaders of Britain and France that he intends to rescue the Sudetenland from Czechoslovakia by October of 1938. It seems at this point as though war is imminent and the Sudetenland crisis is going to bring Europe back into war.